Dear sister, I'm in a dilemma. My name is AC. I got married last year to the love of my life. Honestly, I feel my man was perfectly made for me. However, we are struggling sisters. We are broke. And when I say broke, I mean broke to the extent that we live at the mercy of kind friends. Our financial problems started right after our extravagant wedding. Growing up, my dream was to have a fairy tale wedding, and that was exactly what my husband gave me. With the benevolence of his pastor, who he affectionately calls Papa, he was able to throw a dream wedding. At the end, I also took bank loans to add to the money his papa gave him. After the wedding, we couldn't afford to rent, so Papa, my husband's pastor, offered his home for us to live in because we were staying outside the country. Despite the support of Papa, life has not been the same since we settled. Most of our monthly income goes into paying off the bank loans I took and the rest towards maintaining Papa's home. Most often than not, we are left with nothing after paying our bills. I got pregnant a month after our wedding and I have given birth now. Sisters, life is hard. I'm sure you're wondering where my parents are. I cannot go home. Oh. During the wedding planning, I had frequent fights with my mom, and when we reported to Papa, he said my mom is a witch. Therefore, I haven't spoken to her since I got married, and she doesn't know that I even have a baby. Now, our biggest nightmare is Papa is coming back to Ghana and is asking us to move from his place. How can we? I can't go to my parents, and my husband can't too, because he has given an impression that we are well-to-do. Now, where and who do we turn to? There is a baby involved, and we cannot be on the street. Sisters, I need help. I like that deep. Sishabe,
yes,
I'm going to start
please.
with you. Looking at you. It's like you have something to say, but at the same time, you're like...
students in class.
Yeah.
Too. When the teacher asks a question, she go like this. Hoping the teacher doesn't call her first. But yes, everything that can go wrong has gone wrong from the beginning of this relationship, as far as I'm concerned. First of all, let me tackle this because as a mother, I cannot believe that any of my children will go out there and some random person will tell them I'm a witch and they would believe it. I don't know what I would do if that happens. I think that's the most painful thing. And I think to go biblical, that could even be the source of their problems.
Yeah. Right.
It is the worst thing you can do to anybody who has brought you to this planet, to think or to believe anybody over them that they are a witch. Even if your parents are witches, look, I don't think they would take it on you.
Right.
Now let's delve into the matter itself. They have done so many mistakes from the onset of the relationship, judging from how and what she said so far, how things have gone. A big wedding that you can't afford is a no-no. And it looks like it's becoming a trend in Ghana where people want to have a wedding and then have it on all these sites.
It's Instagram.
Instagram, big
Bella
wedding on
Naija,
Instagram, Bella
Bella
Naija.
Ghana.
Oh my God. It's like if your wedding is not trending, then
Yes.
you've not had a wedding. I think
Yes.
it is just unfair on the Ghanaian
GH
youth.
weddings.
There was a wedding I attended one time and I asked myself, hey, now this is a wedding, you're not entering the marriage. Then what if you're celebrating your 10-year anniversary? Like
Right.
it's got to be bigger than this. You know, the venue and everything kept me asking myself, this is what people actually do when they've achieved things. The marriage has gone on for 10 years and then you're celebrating your anniversary. It is bad to take a loan to do a wedding. Cut your coat according to your size.
Right.
This life we are living, nobody is ticking any box anywhere. Nobody really cares. People will come and sit down, eat your food, drink your wine, whatever, and go home and talk about you. And even wish you, half of the people that will not wish you well. They will wish you evil. They'll be praying for the day
Yeah.
When is this marriage ending? What,
It will
are
end
they
in
having
tears.
issues?
It will end in tears.
All
It will
that
end in
stuff.
tears.
So I don't know why people even bother themselves to feed people who don't like you, to invite so many people to your wedding. They don't care. A lot of it now. And also to
She's still not landed.
and also to even accept you don't have a place to live. Why are you here? Why aren't you out there working? Because the story says she says they don't live here, and that's why they are staying in Papa's house.
Right.
Papa.
Okay, so wait.
No, as in Papa doesn't live here.
Papa. Oh, okay. So
they are
they live
staying
here.
in Papa's house
You are
here.
staying in Papa's house, and you're comfortable. You've been comfortable to the point where you've had a child in Papa's house. Lady, this is not okay. If you are not ready to mother a child, you must take protection, take care of yourself to the point where you know you are financially, physically, emotionally, psychologically ready to mother someone.
Right. Right.
So that is also wrong again. So like so many things are wrong. If I was her, first step to backtrack all your actions is to go back and beg your parents. Bible says obey your parents so that your days will be long on earth. You have gone to listen to someone else who has told you your parents are witches. Nothing can go wrong from that point. Nothing can go right from that point. So that's the first point of action. She should call her mother and go and beg her.
Right.
Go on her knees and beg her. For somebody to take care of you to the point where somebody else has seen you worthy to be married. Oh, even if that is witchcraft, you better respect that witch. So that's the first thing to do. And then she has to get her finances right. If you're not ready to do big wedding, don't do. And now you have a child in the mix, unfortunately. But something still can be done. And so she has to start from going to beg her parents and then both of them should sit down, discuss and agree where they move on from there and then start backtracking from there, one by one. Because this is all wrong, and if they don't do anything about it, it's going to get messy from here.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So before I let Felicia come in, I would also want to introduce that we actually have Bruce here from Bruce Services. I mean, the story was so hot, I forgot to introduce Bruce, you've heard the story. Yes, and it's heavy, right?
It's very heavy.
Okay, but before we get into the story, what are you actually making for us? Because this story, like, we cannot be discussing this story without, you know,
A Bruce
some
feel.
refreshment.
Well, today you guys will be drinking sex on the beach.
Sex on the beach. But we're talking about sex in Papa's house.
So we'll call it
Sex in Papa's house.
Yes. Okay, so let's get back into the conversation. So Felicia, right, so they're in Papa's house now, they have a child and they have no money after an extravagant wedding.
So, like, this story breaks my heart. And it breaks my
terrible.
heart because, as my sister Citi said, everything that has to go wrong has happened.
Yeah.
And now there's an innocent child involved. And I always tell people around me, childbirth is not as simple as society makes it seem. People just give birth with the hope that God will provide. Yes,
I
God
like
will
that.
provide, but you need to position yourself in a place that God can provide for you. God doesn't provide by raining manna, raining grapes, raining bread. Even if He rains bread, you need to squat to pick those bread up.
Thank you.
Preach.
Or you have to, and that's painful. Anybody who has ideas about squatting and picking stuff will know that it's not easy to pick stuff from the floor. So I don't know why people just fall prey to societal pressure.
Yeah.
As a woman, I tell myself and I advise my friends, even as a woman, you should be prepared to have a child. Let's forget about the financial constraints.
Yeah.
Let's forget about the stability in the house. Mentally, physically,
Yeah.
you should be ready to have a child. Why? Because I want to have a child when I'm ready to be
Exactly.
present in that child's life. Being present includes being able to provide financially, being present to provide for their social needs, being present to help develop their mental, you know, strength and skills, whatever. So if you are not stable, how can you raise a child in a stable environment?
Right.
That is just the social bit, the psychological, the
Even
mental, the emotional bit of it. Not to talk of the financial bit. Now let me step back. Let's go 2 steps backwards to receiving money from Papa. I don't know how people will
And
see
leaving
me.
off friends.
Yeah.
I don't even know how people will see me after this delivery. This papa thing is getting out of hand. Some people are living at the mercies of spiritual fathers, spiritual mothers, spiritual leaders. I'm sorry, but even the Bible itself speaks against that. Why would you put all your hopes in one human being? A human being just like yourself. We need to sometimes step out of the flesh and focus on the spiritual bit of our religion. Yeah. I'm saying religion because I'm not talking about Christians. I'm not talking about Muslims. I'm not talking about church. Because it spans across. Somebody has this hope in this traditional guy in the corner. Everything, they have to run to that person. This malam somewhere. Those people are just guides. They guide our spiritual well-being. They are not the leaders of our spiritual life. They don't own our spiritual life. To the extent that you take money from your pastor to do a wedding, he gives you a place to stay, and now see this same pastor has turned over. Especially at the time of need. If he really cares about your well-being, how would he tell you to leave his house when he knows very well that you need him the most at that point? Do you get me?
Right.
And my question too is, what does this guy do for the pastor that he felt comfortable sponsoring their wedding and giving them his home?
Right. Yeah.
I sense something fishy here.
You know, yeah, it sounds very fishy, very, very fishy, because I was also thinking the same way. But then again, sometimes this papa, daddy movement, it almost feels like a cult.
But is he doing that?
We've heard about religious cults.
Yeah.
Yes, and there's this control that the heads usually have on the followers.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe that money could just be that, yeah, I'm your head, so have your wedding. But now the whole thing has cleared on Papa's eyes, has cleared on everybody's eye. Look, leave my house, I need my
And
house.
even the sad part is
he doing same for everybody in the church?
exactly.
Wow.
Why you?
Yeah. Even the sad part for me is the money Papa gave them for the wedding was not enough to the point where this lady had to go for loan. Like, what's going on? What kind of pressure are you under to have a big wedding, and without that you will not survive on this planet?
Yeah,
it's wrong.
It's very, but we are here to offer solution.
Yeah.
And when Sicho said, you tell your own mother, or you accept that your own mother is a witch.
She didn't do her
She didn't
witchcraft
kill you
sins,
when you were a baby, when you were fragile, when your bones were soft enough to munch on. And now that you're a full-grown woman who can fight with her, no, this is when she can easily bewitch you. No, that's heartbreaking. Anyway, a mother's love is undying. I'm sure the mother is praying and hoping for the day her daughter will realize all her mistakes and come back home.
Right.
So it's never too late. You know, any step to being remorseful is first of all identifying your problem or your mistake. And thanks be to God, from her delivery, you see she realizes that something is not right. So please go back to your home.
Right.
At least you offended your mom. So hopefully daddy doesn't feel offended. I'm guessing, because she only spoke about the relationship with the mother.
Right.
So just go home. You have a beautiful baby. Our parents always are warm towards their grandchildren. So take the baby home. Tell your parents what it is. It's time to fix your finances, but we can't fix it immediately.
Exactly.
You need to start from somewhere. Go home and accept any support your parents could give you and start life from there.
Right.
As for the husband, I'll leave him to Rosie. Because if I start, I think Rosie won't have much to say. Because I really don't see the responsibility here. How can you take on somebody's daughter to add to your problems when you yourself cannot manage your own problems?
He seems quite irresponsible.
That is wicked. That's very irresponsible.
True.
You can't do that.
I don't know what I would do if any of my children think or believe any man of God who says I'm a witch. God, somebody will die in this town.
and is the guy working? That's what I'm asking myself.
Yeah, it seems like he's working. That's why they have to, that's how they're paying back the loans. Yeah, that's how they're paying back the loans. All right, Rosie.
I've been very quiet because a part of me is livid, a part of me is sad, a part of me is frustrated, and a part of me doesn't know what to say. Now, I like picking things from the very onset. I would give my last penny to say that the girl's mother foresaw all of these things.
Exactly.
Yes.
And was trying to draw attention to the daughter. But the daughter felt she was in love and probably went to the boyfriend to tell the boyfriend that, oh, you know, this is what my mom is saying, these are the concerns I'm guys raising. So the papa and this boy managed to kick the mother out of the equation so that they can have their feel. And then this papa promised that, look, I would single-handedly sponsor your wedding for you. So it meant that, okay, we don't need my mom for anything. And she was comfortable enough to, you know, accept the branding of her mother as a witch and then let her mother go. Now, Sicho has said a lot, Felicia has said a lot, so I don't want to, you know, but you see, if this woman could kill you, should have killed you long ago.
Yes.
Number two, nature. A woman, the kind of process we go through when it comes to childbirth, right? The process you go through, your body changing, the hormones. For some of us, our bodies have changed and we've done gymming, we've done all manner of things and we can't get back. Some people have lost correct use of their bodies just because of childbirth. Some have lost their teeth, some have lost their voice,
parts.
some have had hormonal challenges. Look,
Some even go blind.
Yeah,
some go blind.
Deaf, even
Look, there are
deaf.
so many horrid stories. Some have lost their life. So at the end of the day, childbearing is not easy. I believe that if we look at the creation of God, that is one thing that women share in common with God, to create. So for a woman to go through this process and birth you, and it doesn't end there, nurture you till you grow, and then you turn round and label this woman as a witch.
And in most cases, suffer for them.
Hold on. Yes, that's something. Nurture you. Go through the process. Look, I went through a point where my mom had to sell her prized possessions to pay for my fees, to continue my education, things like that. So to go through this process, to giving of herself, sacrificing herself. As I'm sitting here, I'm sure if my salary was just for me, I could afford anything I wanted to afford. But once you have kids, it's like when you're even buying something, you're thinking, hey, what if the kids need this? The kids, let me keep some buffer, just in case Dante needs this, Danica needs this. You know, your mind, everything changes. So for a woman to go through this process and then to be branded a witch by the very own daughter. Nature will not forgive you.
Exactly.
So even if Papa felt he was doing the right thing, your boyfriend felt he was doing the right thing, just for the fact that you have turned against your own mother who birthed you, it comes as a curse in itself.
Thank you.
Anybody who works against their mother, watch how their life progresses.
You work against God indirectly.
You work against yourself. So it's like, it's spiritual. I'm not even saying religious. It is spiritual. I don't know you understand me. So that's the first mistake she did. Now, because the mother was saying things about their marriage, they didn't want her, they wanted to kick her out. No wahala. Now this papa, and that's the nail she hits like just before she ended the submission. I don't know why people are putting, look, these people are calling pastors papa and they don't even regard their parents. They don't visit their parents. They don't talk to their parents. They don't revere their parents. And you're calling somebody else papa. In some cases, these papas, they are not even married. Some of these papas have not even had children before. Some of these papas, how? Are they genetically, like, what is the papa about?
They live at the mercy
Some of
of
them are
time.
You see, and
They
they're
live at
like,
the mercy of time.
and you know, they revere them. They Osubo now, I don't know how to say.
They worship them.
You understand? They worship them, they revere them, and yet your own parents, you treat them like trash. And you feel that you are going where? No problem. This papa has papered himself in your life. Now, he thought that when he was thinking about wedding, he thought he could give you like some 5K for you to finish your wedding. But the kind of wedding you were looking for, you realize that you have to take handouts from friends.
Money was not enough.
Papa's money it wouldn't be enough. Take money from friends and everything, blah, 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 blah. Some of these things, maybe the papa was sowing a seed in your life so that you feel indebted to him. That house he gave you to stay in, listen, when there's a house that has been built and nobody is staying there, the house dies. You are just a caretaker. To be honest, the papa needed a caretaker for his home. Somebody doesn't have to pay to take care of the house.
Yeah.
And you did
So
that job.
they moved you into the house. Oh, come and take care of my home. Oh, with my wife, and you are going there doing your things. Look, I can bet my last penny that this girl will be trolling. Hey, me and my husband, newlyweds, 1 month anniversary. You guys were doing all kinds of things on social media to make it look like you're okay. That's why you said that. Oh, the way your husband has done things, maybe your husband is peppering them. Oh, new year, new marriage, new home.
New home.
Yeah. All kinds of
You know,
things.
all new me,
Yeah,
you know,
new me, yeah.
all kinds of things. So at the end of the day, it's like they are living in this bubble.
And I think
As
they're
for the
trying to keep
extravagant
appearance.
weddings,
Yeah.
I don't want to go there because listen, for those who have the money,
Yes.
and when they do the extravagant wedding,
You know,
they don't
you
have to
see.
put pen and
Yeah.
paper
Oh,
and do
yes.
1 + 1.
Cut
But
your
for me,
coat according
that's
to
on
your
a
size.
daily basis. I have a white sheet of paper and I put an amount at the top minus this, minus this, and I keep subtracting. Then sometimes I go into negative. Then I go back to the top and see where I can cut down so that at least it balances to 0 or somewhat close to 0. Look, I for me, something like that, you do it according to.
Yes.
Now, if you're going to borrow money too, it means that the money you are borrowing, you know, you should know that per your cash flows, it can easily, my banking side is coming out, per your cash flows, it can easily cover the repayment over a period
Yes.
of an agreed period, so you don't suffer.
Comfortably.
Now, like she also said, you should own the human beings you bring into this life. And that's why I think that women should only get married when they are worth a sort, they themselves are worth something.
Yeah.
You should be working. You should have some form of livelihood.
Yeah.
You should have something that you can depend on, so you can live comfortably. For me, I know that my husband can take care of 5 children, but I will have the number of children that me, in an event that my husband is no more,
Exactly.
God forbid, knock on wood, that he's no more, something happens, me alone, my salary can take care
Take care
of
of
the kids.
them.
Yeah.
Truth.
You understand?
Yeah.
The moment it goes beyond my comfort zone, I don't need. I will tell her, look, babes, you know what? I think we are going too much. Let's struck it here. You know, when things improve, because you see, you don't know. You say nobody knows tomorrow. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I will not go beyond. Now you've done all of these things. You've gone through your hardships. Now they are kicking you out of the house because the owner of the house is coming and he needs the caretaker to leave. If this man had any good intentions for this man, he will say that, look, I'm coming in, so maybe move your things to one room and let me stay in the other room or something. Then you try and find ways and means of sorting yourself out somewhere.
Right.
And he says you should leave the whole house. Because you see, he doesn't want people thinking that he is not come to squat with you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he wants to collect his house from you. People are like, this is my house.
Yeah.
It was not yours. Now, the first thing you should do is that, listen, as horrible as what you did to your mother was, a mother's love is infinite. It has no boundaries. I know this because I have offended my mom before. Sometimes you talk, hey, my mom did this, my mom did. This same woman, you go to her crying, she's the first person to open her arms
My daughter.
and pull you in and say, my daughter, come here. You
And
see?
in this whole world, they are the
So
only people.
at the end of the day, look, truthfully, let me tell you something. A woman's love for their child, because they know what they went through for that child.
child.
And usually the children who misbehave, they are the ones that the mothers have invested so much in.
Yes.
And they are the ones that are even on the,
Hearts of-
at
yeah,
the inputs
yeah,
of the heart.
yeah.
So trust me, this is the time to swallow your pride. Whatever ego you think you have, reduce it.
Immediately.
Let me speak it, reduce it.
Drop it.
The pride, you better reduce it.
Yeah.
The ego, reduce it. The arrogance, reduce
Use
it.
it.
Right now, come down. Go to your mother by yourself. Kneel down in front of your mother and beg for forgiveness. Because if you don't get the forgiveness of your mother may continue doing what she has to do for you, but that pain may still be there.
Yeah.
You need to come to that point where you let your mother know that what I said, what I allowed happen, what I did. So which means that her mother was not even part of her wedding.
Yes.
No.
Yes. She
And
doesn't
that's
even know
so
she has a
painful
child.
to mothers.
Even,
See, it's
yeah,
so painful.
yeah.
And now you've gone ahead, gotten pregnant. Look, every mother wants to be. Tanika would get married and have a child, and I'm alive, and I wouldn't know about it.
it. Yeah.
Look, it would
It'll kill
hurt
you.
It
Yeah.
will
I know,
kill the
I know.
woman.
That is my little girl.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, she's grown. She's 4 years. She's asking me questions, but I still see her as a baby. I still remember when I gave birth to her. I still remember the conditions under which I gave birth to her. So at the end of the day, all I'm saying is that, look, madam, go to your mother. Go and apologize. After you apologize, let her bless you. Let her forgive you and bless you.
Yeah.
Then when you move on, listen, no job is beneath you.
Exactly.
Right.
If it's buying and selling, you sell shito.
Yeah.
I'm sure she started small. Now everybody goes about her shito, her jollof, her this, her this, her that. So I would pay premium to buy her jollof because it's really nice.
Yes.
So my thing is that, look, get something doing, get some job doing. Slowly you come out of this. But the number one thing you should do, go to your mom, beg for forgiveness, let her forgive you, and start doing. As for the guy, I don't want to come there because the guy doesn't have direction.
No, at all. I don't think he's even prepared to be married.
It seems like a lot of
it's good Bruce is
He
here.
ain't going to go with a man.
well, all of us don't want to deal with the man, but yeah,